Hi, class. My name is Rachel Carmichael, and I wanted to talk to y'all a little bit about my reflections on hunger and poverty seen in Dallas County. So, some of the things I learned that were just staggering is one, how big of an issue hunger and poverty still is in Dallas County. Um, but then also just thinking about so many of the different resources available to residents here, just how staggering it is that it is such a large issue still. I think about um, so many of the different resources that are outlined at my church, um, and even the opportunity to be a part of different ministries that go and help through different food pantries and passing out how they pass out food to homeless, um, and even being a part of um, ministry inside my church and seeing people firsthand come up. I was working as a barista at one point a couple years ago in the coffee shop in my church, and on a fairly regular basis, seeing people come up, ask to the coffee counter, and ask for help finding food or help finding different resources, and having the opportunity to not only connect them with different resources, um, but also just making them aware of the resources available to them. So I wonder how much of it is people that are struggling with hunger, one, don't know the resources available to them and need help knowing what those resources are, but also two, um, maybe there's shame involved with um, asking for help. Not sure, but it was staggering to realize. And so, one of the questions that came up to me is, as we're studying to become advanced practice um, registered nurses and um, looking at practicing in clinics of our own and seeing the effects of poverty and hunger in our own communities, after reading this book, When Helping Hurts, and seeing that poverty alleviation, helping with hunger, all of those things, it's a long term thing and not just a short term, I'm going to give you a handout type thing. How do we as providers help our patients without hurting them, since we're only able to be a part of that process and not able to walk with them through the long term, day in and day out of poverty alleviation. So don't know if y'all have any ideas on that, but how we can connect them to resources and truly help them and meet that need without further enabling or hurting them in the process. Um, Something else that was interesting to me is that serving at a local clinic here in town that serves the uninsured and underinsured in Dallas, I've seen a lot of patients and refugees come over from overseas, and I wonder how much of, specifically for Dallas County, a lot of the issues with hunger are related to refugees and a lack of assimilation and acculturation, and therefore truly not knowing the resources available to them, or maybe they're undocumented. We've had many undocumented patients come to the clinic and even afraid to seek out those resources. Um, and so I think something that I've seen be really helpful at the clinic is to point them. We have binders of not only just medical resources available to them and ministries in our church that are available to them for recovery ministries from drug addictions, things like that, but also different refugee resources available to them, different asylum seeking resources available to them, and then also when it comes to hunger, different ministries, homeless shelters, things available to them as they need them. And so I've seen that be really effective, and maybe that's a way to help be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. So I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts, and thank you so much for letting me share.